Implicit bias is an automatic reaction someone has toward other people. These attitudes and stereotypes can negatively impact our understanding, actions, and decision making. The idea that a person can hold prejudices they don't want or believe was a radical idea when it was first introduced. And the fact that people may discriminate unintentionally continues to have implications for understanding disparities in so many aspects of society. When most people think of bias, they imagine an intentional thought or action. For example, a conscious belief that women are worse than men at math, or a deliberate decision to pull someone over because of his or her race. Gender and race biases in the United States have historically been overt, intentional, and highly visible. But changes to the legal system and norms guiding acceptable behavior in the US have led to clear reductions in such explicit bias. Unfortunately, we still see disparities in health, law enforcement, education, and career outcomes depending on group membership. And many large scale disparities we see in society also show up in small scale studies of behavior. So, how are these inequalities sustained in a country that prides itself on egalitarianism? Of course, overt sexist and racist still exist, and explicit biases are important. However, this isn't how many social and organizational scientists currently understand prejudice, which are negative attitudes toward members of a social group, and stereotyping, which are beliefs about the characteristics of a social group. How do we understand and measure implicit bias, which stems from attitudes or stereotypes that occur largely outside of conscious awareness and control? In many cases, people don't know they have these implicit biases. Much like we cannot introspect on how our stomachs or lungs are working, we cannot simply look inside our own minds and find our implicit biases. We can only understand implicit bias through the use of psychological measures that get around the problems of self report. Project Implicit is housed at Harvard and offers 15 different free and anonymous tests to help you explore your implicit biases. The URL for the site is shown on your screen. Pause this recording and take one test or more and reflect on the results. Each test takes approximately 10 minutes. When you're ready, resume the recording to continue with this module.